Smerconish.com today, understandably heavy in the coverage of not only Ukraine, but also State of the Union. State of the Union address last night, I tweeted only twice during the State of the Union. First time I said, whoever started the practice of State of the Union covering 50 subjects superficially instead of a few substantively was mistaken. Tonight would have been more effective, all about Ukraine. Instead, it's a race to check all the boxes. My second tweet was at the end of the night where I said, quote, go get him. Does he mean Putin? Here's something interesting in terms of that which I posted today at Smerconish.com. Aaron Blake from the Washington Post with his 4 takeaways because I thought that they were spot on. But also one of these, how can both the headlines be true? Mediaite has a headline that says, quote, just 41% of viewers had very positive reaction to Biden's State of the Union speech, says CNN, lowest since George W. Bush. Okay, a pretty negative take on the reaction to the president's State of the Union last night. So having read Mediaite about CNN, I wanted to go to the source. I wanted to go to the CNN coverage. I couldn't find it initially because the headline was so different than the Mediaite coverage. Remember, Mediaite, just talk about glass half empty. Just 41% of viewers had very positive reaction to Biden's State of the Union, lowest since George W. Bush. CNN's headline, and I went with the CNN coverage because they're the source, speech watchers have mostly positive reaction of Biden's State of the Union speech, CNN poll says. I mean, it's truly like liars figure, figures lie. You know, you can make the numbers into whatever you want them to be. So you can take your choice. You can either go with speech watchers having a mostly positive reaction or only 41% had a very positive reaction. And actually, both are borne out in the numbers. The CNN lead says 71% majority of Americans who watched President Joe Biden's State of the Union address had a positive reaction to the speech, according to a CNN poll conducted by SSRS, with a more modest 41% reacting very positively. And then you get to the second graph for that is a less enthusiastic reception than Biden received for his joint address to Congress last April. You've got to read much further down in the story to get the comparison to George W. Bush. So,
I mean, it's all there, right?
It's all there.
It's all there. It's just sort of different what they choose to pull out.
Well, I mean, again, it's what Smerconish.com stands for in trying to just provide you the balance. And I'm here to say, read the whole story.
Well, another headline that might be confusing that is on Smerconish.com, Al Franken predicts Trump will win in 2024 and it will be the last Democratic election. It's over. It'll be a dictatorship. That was the quote. So I thought that was pretty curious and wondered exactly what did he say. In the actual Mediaite piece, it doesn't say exactly what he says. It doesn't give the quote of Trump is going to win in 2024.
Wait, does he, maybe you're about to tell me this, does he say if Trump wins or Trump is going to win?
He doesn't really say either of those things.
Oh, boy.
He's going through talking about how the Trump presidency started with lying about the inaugural size of the crowd at the inauguration. And then he says, when you say kids will look up and see Donald Trump's picture as president, they'll see Donald Trump, they'll see Joe Biden, and then they'll see Donald Trump again. So I guess that's where they pull the he's going to win in 2024 because he's going to be president again. And then he says, and that'll be it. It'll be a dictatorship. It'll be an authoritarian regime. We won't have a democratic election. It'll be like Hungary. It'll all be fraud. He's being very jokey about it when you listen to the actual audio, but he doesn't. I think that headline is much more firm than what was actually said.
It sounds to me more in the category of if Trump were to win, but I would have to listen to the actual audio.
I think you're right.
Another comedian who is featured at Smerconish.com, dare I say my hero, my mentor, my inspiration, in studio, you can attest to this, right? In studio, in a very prominent position, right over there on the wall.
In your eyesight.
Yeah, is a enormous signed Larry David inscription to me.
Okay, well, don't forget about
By the way, asking, am I his Caucasian? those who remember the episode of Crazy Eyed Killer will know why he said that to me.
And don't forget about your prayer candle. I mean, please. That is there you go. Very important. So what is Larry David up to?
Well, apparently his HBO special, I went with the New York Post coverage on this because they seem to have some exclusive details. Larry David fans will really have to curb their enthusiasm now. The two-part HBO documentary, The Larry David Story, which shines a new light on the infamous cynic who remains a singular voice in comedy today, was scrapped late on Monday, the day before it was slated to premiere on March 1. It's called The Larry David Story. It's an HBO Max presentation. It's being postponed because, and I thought it must be because of all that's in the news. Like Larry David maybe thinks that the opportunity, the timing
not
isn't
appropriate, not funny.
The world's going to hell in a handbasket in Ukraine. But apparently that's not it. Instead, he wants to do it in front of a live audience.
And just figured that out the day before?
That's what's so odd.
I think that's bizarre. Something's up.
Sources close to the comic told Page Six that in front of an audience means David wants to now hatch a live stage version of the show, not just a premiere. The documentary in front of an audience at a theater is what he has in mind. It's unclear when and if the doc will now see the light of day.
Well, I like the idea, but you would think that they would have figured that out before it was about to air on HBO.
If it's really Larry David telling stories of his life, it will, I hope, be reminiscent of Billy Crystal in 700 Sundays, which was his Broadway show, which I saw a couple of times and was just fabulous. So love Larry David, whether it's in front of an audience or not in front of an audience, I'm game to watch. It kind of reminds me of 2 years ago right now, having tickets on sale to go out on the road and do my tour, things I wish I knew before I started talking. And then COVID hit. And like for a while, if you remember, we still weren't sure. Like, do you think I'll get to go? And you were in on the trip.
Oh, it was the
Seattle.
Yeah, we held on to those. Well, it was Washington where it all
the nursing home that was ground
COVID
zero
here started. Right. That's crazy.
And Arizona, and am I going to get to go to Arizona?
Right.
And then the nights in Philadelphia sold out.
Right.
Well, the point is, in the end, as you know, I ended up going and delivering my entire presentation to an empty theater.
Right.
And it's still on Hulu.
That's so cool. Right.
And it's still on Hulu. What else from Smerconish.com caught your eye today?
My very favorite picture on Smerconish.com today is the mountain lion.
Is that the mountain lion?
Well, I don't think it can't be. But I thought it was
the mountain lion is dead.
Unfortunately, yes. I think it's a bit of an arresting picture, and it caught my eye. And then the headline further caught my eye. Montana Governor Gianforte, is that how you pronounce it? Kills National Park Service tracked mountain lion. So of course I'm thinking
he treat him, TC. Did you read the story?
Of course I read the story. Did you? Wait, are you saying that's something that you knew about?
I mean, take my man card from me right frickin' now. Last night
he brought in the dogs. He chased him up a tree.
Last night we have in our laundry room we have like a big sink, and we put my wife and I, both dogs. She did the work. I was in charge of crowd control. Just making sure they don't jump out of the tub.
How's that going?
Like, we're washing the dogs last night. I am such a wimp. And now I'm looking at this story. I'm like, how could you kill that mountain lion? You know, I'm bathing the dogs in the sink, and I'm worried about.
Hey, it ventured outside the protected area. Fair game. Totally legal hunt.
And I know it's a predator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but it's still a story that...
Here's the quote from the spokesperson.
Yeah.
As the group got closer to the lion, members of the group who had a hound training license used 4 hounds to tree the lion once the track was discovered in a creek bottom on public land. After the lion was treed, the governor confirmed the mountain lion was a male, harvested it, and put his tag on it. He immediately called to report the legal harvest, and then the game warden, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks game warden came over.
I posted that story just to remind people that there is other news in the world beyond the State of the Union and the situation in Ukraine, which leads me to this. I went with the ESPN coverage today. I've not kept my eye on this story. But it depresses me nonetheless. Headline, no deal. What we know and don't know as Major League Baseball delays opening day. can't they just get it together? Like, don't they look at President Zelensky under siege in Ukraine and realize, let's put on our big boy pants because we organize baseball.
Please.
Like,
but
for crying
couldn't
out
that
loud.
stand for basically everything else that's going on in the world, really?
Well, it's true.
If you would think of it that way.
Well, and also, I mean, you would think that the players and management, again, I don't know what the issues are, but this is finally the opportunity, first time in 2 weeks, for people to go out and be close to one another, not have to wear a mask, and enjoy America's pastime. Another sports story, and then I'll end on a more serious note, but another sports story comes from WHYY, which is the NPR affiliate in Philadelphia. Tonight is James Harden's debut in Philadelphia. The 76ers are hosting the Knicks, and the town is like euphoric about Harden. Ben Simmons, I think, is still not playing for Brooklyn.
You're correct.
Still not playing. Is it a back issue? Like, what's... And I'm still...
I hope so, for his sake.
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. In Philadelphia, he's persona non grata. I'm still not sure whether I'm for or against Ben Simmons, because if it's a mental health thing from which he's suffering, then I want to be supportive.
Marcus Hayes is a longtime sports writer in Philadelphia, and I respect his opinion. And his comment on it was something to the effect of, I'm not going to quote him directly because I don't have it in front of me. There are mental health issues are mental health issues, and Ben Simmons had some mental health issues to work through. That wasn't the issue in Philadelphia. He just quit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either,
don't know.
but I feel like Marcus Hayes is that degree closer to him.
I feel the same way. Oh, TC, throw me a landline. Her conservatorship just ended.
Wow.
Britney
Hashtag
Spears.
free Britney.
Britney Spears.
You did get it.
Britney
You got
Spears.
it. You got
Okay.
it.
And I saw Britney Spears buck naked on a beach this week.
No, not buck naked. There were little stars.
She was buck naked, and then somebody put
Exactly.
3 stars.
Exactly.
Okay, you can imagine where the 3 stars were placed.
But Michael, okay, usually she's not buck naked, but if you follow her Instagram, that's nothing unusual.
No, but I'm the holdout here. I'm the holdout. I'm still not sure whether, when I see the buck naked shot, and some people will say, oh, but why? Because she's naked, who cares? No, I get it. If she's of sound mind and wants to be naked on the beach, great. God bless her.
Yeah.
But it makes me a little nervous as to whether the conservatorship was necessary, is what I'm trying to say. So I feel the same way about Ben Simmons that I feel about Britney Spears. I'm just not sure. But TC, I wanted to say this. I have an interest in going to tonight's game.
Oh, are you going?
Well, I have no tickets, and I have not committed.
Okay.
But again, this is James Harden making his Philadelphia... Why does that surprise you?
It's just fun. I think it's great.
Why? Because I don't want the mountain lion shot? You think now I can't enjoy men's sports?
I hope you can go and drink, have a couple pops.
What?
It's good.
So I'm on StubHub.
Okay.
Because I just want to see, like, what's it going to set me back if I go? So I put in 2 tickets downstairs, and let me just see. I love the way this is set up. So if I want to be in the 7th row, pretty much mid-court, what do you think the price is?
7th row, mid-court.
Pretty much mid-court. Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly,
I'm really closer to a foul line.
I haven't bought tickets for sports stuff in ages.
Well,
I
humor
have
me
no
anyway.
idea. Okay, how about $235 a seat?
$348.
Oh, I wasn't that bad.
$348. And you know what I love about this? I love how they just like you get a view of exactly what your perspective will be.
Yeah. No surprises.
The point is this. They're
You could
expensive.
go.
They're expensive seats. They
Well,
are expensive
7th
seats.
row.
Well, they are cheaper than Grateful Dead sneakers. Okay, and finally from Smerconish.com, I think arguably the most important item that is on the page today, and it pertains to Ukraine, and it's a Tom Friedman. He, of course, The World is Flat, Pulitzer Prize winner from the New York Times. It's Tom Friedman's coverage of what's gone on in Ukraine, and he comes up with what he believes are the 3 likely scenarios for how it ends. And this is the survey question today at Smerconish.com, where I'm asking which of these scenarios do you think is going to be the final outcome. Scenario number 1, according to Tom Friedman, is everything goes to hell in a handbasket. A total blanking, he didn't say that, but I will, disaster. Putin doesn't have the ability to install a puppet leader in Ukraine, and just leave him there. A puppet would face a permanent insurrection, so Russia needs to permanently station tens of thousands of troops in Ukraine to control it, and Ukrainians will be shooting at them every day. It is a terrifying thought how little Putin has thought about how his war would end. I sort of misstated the way Friedman wrote it, but you get the gist of it. It's like war without end. War without end, thousands of troops holding Ukraine hostage. That is scenario one. The second scenario is that somehow the Ukrainian military and the people are able to hold out long enough against the Russian blitzkrieg, and there's a dirty compromise that is then accepted, essentially a ceasefire, a withdrawal of Russian troops, but a ceding of the easternmost Russian-speaking regions of Ukraine to Russia, and a pledge from Ukraine that they will never join NATO. And the third scenario, which he says is the least likely scenario, but one that could have the best outcome, is that the Russian people demonstrate as much bravery and commitment to their own freedom as the Ukrainian people have shown to theirs, and deliver salvation by ousting Putin from office. So total blank show, scenario one. Dirty compromise, scenario two. Putin falls is scenario three. All those stories and more posted at Smerconish.com. Check them out. Vote on the survey question. See you tomorrow.